Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my build showcase. I'm showcasing all the different characters that I played here on Lamania. So it's going to be a whole kind of run through. You're going to see all of them here. And the way the format's going to be done is character build, then display of character doing actual quest, and then character build, display of character doing actual quest. So, you can check the description for time codes, or like there's the little bar at the bottom for all the time codes as to where you can just click around to go to the thing you want to see, and all the different character builds featured here. The first character I'm going to show you is the update to my DPS Warlock. This is my DPS Warlock stream that I forgot to re-equip my weapons on. And this character is a DPS, which sounds weird because you're like Warlock, DPS, it doesn't really add up. Like, Strimtom, what are you talking about? There's no such thing as DPS Warlock. Well, the idea here with this character is I wanted to, play DPS and just hit with Warlock. I like the idea of just blasting and not having to actually worry about running out of spell points in raids. But you're right, the damage is not as good. So what changes came through? If you want to see the whole build, you can check it out. It's my DPS Warlock build. It's in the build repository, link in description. But what changed about this character is actually pretty much nothing. I didn't change the build at all. I actually used the same build. The only thing that changed is Epic Destinies. And oh boy, did they change. I'm using a combination of Shirati Champion, Draconic Incarnation, and Exalted Angel. Because Exalted Angel is actually very, very strong for this build because it gives me access to healing, a lot of defense, some amazing crowd control and stand and be judged as well. And this because it's basically just like always works in Reaper 10. And Holy Fireball for a huge burst of damage. On top of that, I get Draconic Incarnation for the Red Dragon Breath for a huge burst of damage as well as a massive amount of spell power. I also get an enchantment and evocation DCs, so I don't get to lose any DCs. I get Leap of Faith, so I can dash around really easily now, which I did not have before. And then the Shirati stuff just gives me the ability to deal extra damage per spell cast. So I wanted to do a quick show of what this character actually does, so you can kind of see it. So these are the boss kobolds. They have 250, they have 500,000 hit points, 500,000 to allow you to determine how much damage you actually deal. And so I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of how long it takes me to do this on a DPS Warlock. So basically I'm just going to run through my abilities. I use Stricken because this debuffs the monsters and reduces or gives them vulnerability. I use Consume because this makes them take physical and magical resistance rating debuffs, so I do more damage to them with my attacks. I have Eldritch Wave, which hits 3 times in a row, and I have a bunch of spell-like abilities turned on it. I have the new Holy Fireball spell, which does a bunch of damage, and then I have Red Dragon Breath, which does a bunch of damage. I also have Scorch, or Ash, which increases the amount of fire damage monsters take by 5%. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to turn this on, and then I start slamming through pretty much all of my spell-like abilities to get as much damage going as possible, and then I'm going to be blasting in between. Sometimes you have to be careful because there's like a bit of an input delay on Lamania, so sometimes your abilities will fire or not fire when you think they're actually going off, so you have to be a little careful and mindful about that, but for the most part it's pretty straightforward. Also, this character is very heavily reliant on critical hits, and so whether I do get a good or bad amount of critical hits definitely determines how much damage I actually do and how this feels. And do this last burst and everything should be dead. So 32.5 seconds to do 500,000 damage, so 500,000 divided by 32.5, and that is 15,000 damage per second on a Warlock, which is very, very strong. Important note, I don't actually have Ash, which I would be using. I should be using Ash on this character to increase the damage, but yeah, I don't have it. So instead, I just have this. This character is phenomenal. In fact, I soloed an R7 with this without too much trouble. So I'm going to post that video so you can see it. Well, not post the video, but it'll be the clip coming up next. Actually, I've soloed a few, but the one I'm going to post is the most exciting. This character is very, very strong. With Exalted Angel, I have access to a whole bunch of cures, so I can now cure mass and heal people for a huge amount, which is a big strain off of healers. And in a pinch situation where you're doing R10s, I still have all my DCs, so I can get my Hold Monster and my Evards kind of landing pretty much all the time. And then, as I said, Holy Fireball, Dragon Breath, adding a great amount of burst, and Shirati just shoring up my extra blasts. It's really, really strong. So overall, this character got a massive, insane boost from the Epic Destinies over top of what I had just running in Draconic Incarnation, and I'm stoked to show you the rest of the characters. Basically, the only thing I'm scared of is the hands. And maybe a Doom Reaper. Doom Reaper, yeah, I forgot about Doom Reapers. Like, self-healing shouldn't be an issue, because I still heal for, like, 500. And I have Staunch.
Here we are. You spot something in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Something small.
This is where the range of chain might be nice? Maybe.
We're tired.
Okay, good, no hands. I was worried about the hands. The hands there are a random spawn, so I was hoping to not see that. How's the new ED been? This character is really crazy. This character is really, really, really crazy. So I'm having a good time. All the epic destinies are phenomenal right now. Everything feels really good. There are a couple abilities that don't work. Still, I haven't tried out new Magus yet, and a bunch of other things, but everything feels really, 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 really good. I'm missing a spell that I need for this room. Nope, this one. Oh my gosh! I am a Warlock! Is there any new damage mitigation abilities in the new Destinies? Tons. Every Destiny, almost every Destiny has some type of heal and defense in it. And you can combine them, so if you want more defensive stats, you can be like, oh, shit, I'm going to put points into Unyielding Sentinel. I'm going to be building a Paladin Vanguard later, and the Paladin Vanguard will be using Unyielding Sentinel as one of its main trees. Because of all the defense and stuff that you pick up. I need Feather Falling, because I don't have that. Cool. Also, I'm going to get some more Charisma. 100, there we go. 100. Even still, they took away my +6 to Charisma that I had from Epic Destinies, I still got 100. Hey, what's up? Oh, he made a save? Oh, that's a shame. Oh shit, that is a shame, actually. Oh, I got stunned? I don't like that. Whew! Okay, we're good. DC 96. Not the best for Reaper 7. Something I already knew, but what are you going to do? It's not guaranteed. Like, the number's reasonably good, because it's going to work most of the time, but it's not going to work every time. Sweet. That feels good.
On top of the desk, you find a tarnished key.
I'm just gonna try to kill this. And good die, Elizabeth Durst. Oh, she's blind. That's good. He's shadow marked, so he takes extra damage from light, maybe? Oh, I can just cause her to sit down. I can just say, dude, go away. Good. So that gives me like a second. Okay, so does that make it a whole ass stun when I use that? So now this is... It's also... Or be stunned. Okay, so it is a stun. So it's an 8-second stun. So I can use Stand and Be Judged, just cause everything to freeze up for 8 seconds. So we're good. Yeah, does Bargain of Blood have more mobs and HP than EE Ravenloft? Probably. I can check. I can literally go test it after. I can't run R7 Bargain of Blood, but... Rage and Displacement. Let's get this back on. So this room is terrifying. I hate this room. Fortunately, I have Staunch. Oh, Holy Fireball does so much damage. Oh, yeah. Despair? What's up? That's probably fine. That's probably fine. Done. Go away. Okay, you can stand and be judged on Despair Reapers, which is what I was worried about. And it does actually work the way I wanted it to. Whew. Okay, stand and be judged. Not as bad as I thought. I just wish you could use it while moving. That's the only problem I have with it, is that you can't use it while moving. I actually, now that I think about it, I don't mind the long duration on this, especially considering I can do this and just lock it in place from like a mile away. Go away. I don't know why I'm blinding stuff. Oh, I'm blinding stuff because this Stay Good has a chance to blind. 20% chance to be blinded. Oh, sick. Okay, so that's not as bad as I thought. Cool. So I can just Eldritch Blast these things down. That's so much damage. Again, this is Reaper 7. That's why I'm getting Despair Reapers and stuff. And I'm just Eldritch Blasting everything down. Not run around and be judged. Okay, true. It is stand and be judged, not run around and be judged. Fact. True fact. Apparently he stinks. Yeah. Chain heal is doing a lot. What I would like to see them is maybe make it so that the damage on chain heal stays, but probably tone down the healing a little bit. Although it does cost a bunch, and Holy Fireball is not OP, so like Holy Fireball feels like it's in the right place. It's not as good as Dragon Breath, but it's pretty good. Like I can go like, oh shit. Like Holy Fireball is still good, but it's not Dragon Breath, you know? What is Chain Heal? Yeah, Exalted Angel tier 5. It's Chain Lightning, except it heals. So you whip it at somebody, and it hits the first target, and then it Chain Lightnings to other people and heals them as well. It also does not discriminate between players and undead. So it'll go like, hit a person, heal them, hit an undead, damage them, hit a person, heal them.
The sound of chanting echoes from down the hallway.
All right, well, this is going to be a fun challenge.
Chanting. He is the ancient. He is the light.
Oh, shit.
The ghostly chant suddenly changes. One must die. One must die. Lorgoth the Decayer.
I have to be very careful with Lorgoth the Decayer. He hurts.
The robed figures vanish, and something stirs in the water.
Okay. Leave me alone. This is only Art 7. Be catching up on heals while I have the chance. Yes, stand there, you dumbass. Also, if you kite Lorgoth, he spawns ads. Bear that in mind. So that's why there's ads coming out of the ground. Literally coming out of the woodwork here. Woo! That feels good. R7 Death House. Basically no problem. Like 8 minutes with the solo with this new thing. Assassin Rogue. How exactly is it different? So this character that I'm running is a character called Smart Stab. It is a pure rogue. I'm going intelligence because chat said intelligence. And that's kind of the general rule. Not the craziest amount of tank here, not a lot of physical magical resistance rating, but a reasonable amount of dodge. Kid's sitting here at 28%, and I've got the incorporeality and concealment to back up some of my defense, so it can actually be pretty survivable in a melee scenario. Obviously, when you move into a higher level of Reaper, this character has no Reaper points and no pass lives, so it might make it a little bit difficult. So that's very complicated. However, as far as skills, if you want to try it with this character, it was just every skill in the game because I'm an intelligence-based rogue. I took all the 2-weapon fighting feats to make sure I had the 2-weapon fighting. The only new feat or different change that I took is the Epic Destiny feat First Blood, which is actually used in the Shadowdancer Epic Destiny. And this character, like I said, was an assassin. So I'm an assassin with Vistani because that's just how you play rogues, and then grab the intelligence stuff here. Now, the reason why this character can work pretty well is a couple. So, number one, we have Shadowdancer. I'm using Dreadnought here on the back end for some extra double strike, as well as some hit points and the additional action boost, which is very, very nice to have, so you can have them running 100% of the time. Because Prowess is the best, and you want to use Prowess on a melee. I use Primal Avatar because for 7 points, I get 3 different heals, and this might not seem like it's that important, but on a character that can't heal whatsoever, this is pretty nice. Now, granted, I could pick up an extra, 10 melee power plus some other stats if I was using Grandmaster Flowers or something else, but I felt like this was more valuable to me for the general leveling thing. If you have healers in your group, you can just respec Primal Avatar and then put the points in somewhere else. But for me, this was pretty good. And then Shadowdancer here. Now, what I got out of Shadowdancer is specifically some Assassinate DCs, the extra Shadow Form, which gives you the movement speed, as well as sneak attack dice, which is very convenient, and then the incorporeality bonuses up here, so you kind of like float around, as well as helplessness damage, which is always nice. This character doesn't have a way to cause helplessness for the most part, except for an item that I can use, which is the Gold Curse Dagger, which freezes monsters and makes them helpless. However, the big things, and where most of the damage comes from, is Dark Imbuement. So Dark Imbuement says that you gain 1d6 per sneak attack dice as untyped damage per hit, scaling with melee, ranged, or force spell power. And my character currently is kicking it with 198 melee power, and so the idea is I get a whole bunch of extra damage per sneak attack dice. To check your sneak attack dice, you can do this under General Combat, and it gives you your total. So I'm at 37 d6s of sneak attack. So we get 37 d6s of sneak attack when I hit, and 37 d6s of untyped damage while this is active. And not only do I get that, but I also gain extra reach. So I just press this button, and I get extra reach. It lasts for 10 seconds out of every 15. So you got to keep it up, but lets you kind of bounce around and stay out of combat. And additionally, you get 2 big abilities. You get the first one, Consume Shadow, which makes it so that you can mark a target, and then they have minus 20 physical magical resistance rating. It lasts for 5 minutes. So you just put this on a boss, and then you don't need to cast it again, which is very convenient. And you can do this for every single boss. You can't assassinate bosses when you walk in to hit them with your assassinate, and this is crazy. This allowed me to do some very good amount of damage. So my first life character was able to kill the kobolds in about 33 seconds or so, the red name kobolds, which is pretty good. Another ability I use is the drop. This is a confusingly worded thing, but what it means is if you roll a 20, you make targets vulnerable to sneak attack, okay? So that's part 1. Part 2 is if you have first blood, then when you trigger first blood, or on a Vorpal cast, which is this ability, you get the Shadow Strike debuff, which reduces monsters' PRR and MRR by 3. So in a Shadowdancer, you can reduce a boss's physical magical resistance rating by 29, 100% of the time. That stacks with every other effect in the entire game, which is crazy. On top of that, I also have the Ooze proc, which gives me an extra 10, so I'm minus 39 physical and magical resistance rating on a boss from just one character. This stacks with the Warlocks, who get an extra 10. This stacks with Ash and Dust, who get an extra 35 each, meaning you're able to drop a monster's physical and magical resistance rating by almost 100 now, which is a lot of extra damage. And then finally, you have the big capstone up here, Consume Shadow, which basically makes you invincible for a short period of time, and whenever a monster hits you, including through a dodge, because it gives you like Meld into Darkness and Dark Imbuement, they instantly die, which is very fun. I actually didn't test this in a quest because I was too busy killing everything and having a great time. Overall, character worked really well, and I had a lot of fun with it. If you're curious as to how like the actual Dark Imbuement stuff works, there's one over here. So basically, it's a buff that you put it on yourself, and then when you have the buff on, you just start hitting at range. You'll see these little lines, and you can start hitting these guys at farther ranges, right? So apparently I can sort of hit at ranges. It's kind of wonky sometimes, but in general, it's like fairly straightforward. You get the extra range. Just gotta pay attention to when it is on or off. And as I said, if I attack this guy, I can hit him. You can see my sneak attack damage is like 600, 700. If I actually put on the Dark Imbuement, now I'm doing 3,200 extra force damage, right? It's 1,500 extra force damage, 1,700 extra force damage. So, and that's just without critically hitting. So with Dark Imbuement, yeah, it's a lot of free damage. Very, very strong. So that is Shadowdancer, in my opinion, is a better or worse. So far, basically it does more damage than old Shadowdancer. The only thing that you're missing is you don't have the instant kill, and you have to choose between Dark Imbuement and Meld, which is a more interesting decision, and you can get more defenses out of other trees. So for example, if I had more points, I could take points out of Dreadnought, drop a little bit of damage, and then grab the at its core, which gives me extra dodge chance every time I use these abilities, which would make me even tankier. But overall, much more damage out of Shadowdancer than before, like a crazy amount, and if you are using an actual endgame build, this is a huge raid debuffer, incomparable to what it was before, much, much, much stronger than before. Assassinate DC? Assassinate DC while stealth is 88.
In the hustle and bustle of the city, a genial halfling nods to you from behind the front desk. A violent explosion.
We will never mention this
Oh, God.
again.
Reduces the elevator to a smoking room.
So the benefit of this is I can actually attack at range, which is kind of sick. So I don't have to be in melee range with these guys, which is very helpful because they have to be in melee range with me, but I don't have to be in melee range with them. Which is very, very nice. And you're wondering how I do that, it's because of this attack right here, Dark Imbuement. So Dark Imbuement is gives you extra melee range, so I can just like step back and not really actually worry about getting into aggro range with these guys. Okay, let's go.
Oops.
Also, I don't have a Dark Imbuement is on now, please. I haven't taken any damage, which is kind of cool. But my hit chance is so disgustingly, disturbingly low, and I hate it. And there's like nothing I can do to fix it. I have precision turned on. I have pretty much everything I can get to like increase my hit chance, and it's just not enough. Also, my assassinate DCs are just not high enough. You can pick up an extra 6 assassinate DCs from past lives. 88's not good enough. With the changes, my character will be picking up an extra, like, if the patch note that was here, that was supposed to be here, actually worked, I would be picking up like an extra 10-ish assassinate DCs. I'd be closer to 100, which would be a little bit better. Is this tomed? Yeah, I'm tomed, I think. I only have 78 intelligence. There's still like an extra 20-point event that I'm missing, but, you know. I can't get Yugoloth pots. I could have bought Thor pots if I wanted.
We will never mention this again.
I didn't really want to do that. It felt like, you know, I could have taken my main character and reincarnated racial or racial completionist with everything else and just kind of ran with it. Okay. Be very careful. I found a bug. Found a bug. So what the bug does is, if you have Dark Imbuement running... Actually, I don't know if it actually requires Dark Imbuement. I think it's First Blood. I think First Blood actually works on myself. Hold on, can I First Blood myself real quick? Ow! Okay, okay. The Primal Avatar abilities proc First Blood on yourself when they heal you.
Robo blocks the elevator shaft as well as the nearby door. You won't be getting up to the terrace this way.
Oh, that's really funny. I know. I'll heal. Ow! As I First Blood myself. And I also get Shadow Strike, which reduces my PRR and MRR. This is why we do testing, okay? Testing. Invest now. Stonks, Primal Avatar are going up. Kill your friends. Yo! I could kill Axel, maybe! Love Mist? I'm so sorry. OMG, I'm so sorry! I might be able to kill Axel. Hold on.
The way up to the terrace
Is he here? Is he online?
This is just a different type of opportunity.
I don't think he's on currently. Oh, but if he was... Oh, right. I have to stealth for this. Stealth?
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know if that actually works. I don't know why she's screaming. So I've consumed Shadow, which I forgot. So this effect, which I forgot to use, gives 3d6 sneak attack dice, 50% incorporeality, full meld into darkness. So I currently have 39% dodge, which is pretty rad, and 50% incorporeality. And also, if a monster misses you, they instantly die. I forgot about this. Next up on the list is Sun Domain Cleric. With the new Exalted Angel finally showing off, I wanted to be able to kind of check it out and try it. Generally, if you're playing as a Sun Domain Cleric, you're sitting in Draconic Incarnation because you needed the crit multi, and now the crit multi is no longer in the tree, you can just use Exalted Angel. So what do you get out of this tree? Well, first, you get Angelic Form, which allows you to deal extra damage whenever you hit monsters, as well as get extra healing whenever you heal somebody. It's fairly good. The extra damage is a lot. It just only procs once every 10 seconds, so it's something that it'll be happy when it happens, but it's not also essential. Additionally, you get this attack called Sun Pillar, and you can call down a beam of light. There's also a fire pillar you can use instead, and it's basically a single target hit, which does a bunch of damage and is very useful. I use it constantly, but what's even better than this is you get an ability called Holy Command, which basically just makes the target helpless for 12 seconds. It's crazy, it's super strong, and very, 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 very good. So you can just spam this constantly. You're knocking things over, making things helpless. It's very, very strong for this character. Additionally, you have the Holy Presence, so as long as the mantle is active, you're healing people that are around you. It doesn't work on you for some reason, it also only works on people in your party. With the few exceptions of, there's a bug where it heals NPCs, but don't worry about that. You have a multi-selector here for some different buttons. I took Sunbolt, and then I realized I don't cast Sunbolt ever. So you actually don't need to cast Sunbolt. The spells that you get in here and your general cleric spells are going to be a huge improvement. And the reason for that is there's two new spells, Celestial Bombardment and Divine Wrath. Divine Wrath is very strong because this used to be an Exalted Angel, and now it's just a Cleric and Favorite Soul spell level 9. It does more damage than it did before, and it also heals people. So, you know, when it would do a d6 per level. Now it's a d6 plus 9. So wrong button. So now I can just press this button and hit this guy for 8,000 damage, which is a little bit higher than it was before. Additionally, you also get Celestial Bombardment, which is 3 times that. It's a d6 plus 9 per character level, but split into 3 hits. So it goes boom, 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 and hits monsters and knocks them down. There's currently a bug where there's no cooldown on this server, but that'll be patched when it comes in. But this does a disgustingly high amount of damage. It is very, very, very strong, and you can pretty much clear quests with just, like, clear an entire room with just Celestial Bombardment. Very exciting change, and it really amps things up. The problem is, Sunbolt, kind of lame now. So in this one, there's a multi-selector. I would just take the Cure. Having Cure Mass as a spell-like ability is amazing, considering I took like Maximize and Power and all that other stuff, and I'd be able to heal people easily into like the 2,000-3,000s with it, which is kind of great. Moving on up, you get damage reduction. This Judgment effect, where you can cause monsters to just kind of freeze solid. The Judgment is very, very strong. It allows you to no-save, stun anything you want for 8 seconds, so it's pretty rad. And then up here at the top, I grabbed Holy Fireball, which it just does a whole bunch of damage. So with Holy Fireball, I can just kind of whip it out and go boom, and then all of a sudden monsters are taking, 10k damage right there, 6,000. Non-crit, and it makes this character really strong. The general idea is I just went Divine Disciple and spent as many points as I could in here, picking up all of the light spell power and some of the spell-like abilities, and I still cast some of them, but oddly enough, I don't cast a lot of them anymore. I don't cast the Flame Strike spell-like ability because I just replaced it with the Firestorm, and the reason I actually don't cast spell-like abilities is because of spell cost reduction. You have too much of it now, actually. So out of this tree, I've got 9 reduced cost of Maximize. I have free Intensify. I have 9 reduced cost of Maximize here. I got reduced cost of Maximize here. So Maximize literally doesn't even cost spell points anymore. My Quicken has reduced cost. I have 10% reduced spell costs here. So all of a sudden, my spell costs are down by such a high margin. I think I'm saving 30% on my spell casting right now. Yeah, 30% down. I actually just cast spells. So I have Firestorm, which costs 20 off of a 25 with Maximize, Intensify, and Quicken on it, which just blows my mind at how cheap that is. And so I don't really use spell-like abilities. And as a result, you can actually trade in a lot of the stuff once you get to the later epics, get rid of the Flame Strikes SLA. I still use Holy Smite just because it's pretty cheap and it does a bunch of extra damage. So, but you could obviously replace this with the spell. The spell only costs 13 to 7. So you could cut out these points here. Maybe if you want to take Efficient Heightening and take Heighten, which I didn't take at all, you could do that. You could grab more Spell Pen. You could grab, I don't know, Enlarge or reduce the cost of Empower to leave Empower on all the time. Maybe you could grab more mana, but you don't even need these SLAs. Or just save points in general because I spent 51 in this damn tree and put them somewhere else. And then this character also ran around with Shifter because Shifter gives you the ability to cast spells while raging and a bunch of wisdom, so I can bump up my wisdom. This character was able to smash out so many things during the leveling process and also at endgame, and I was able to run a whole bunch of quests. It worked really well at level 20, it worked really well at level 30, and this is before any of the changes that are coming to the low-level monster health. So I'm very confident that both Cleric and Favorite Soul are going to be extremely good endgame spellcasters, especially with some of the new spells. Celestial Bombardment is really aggressively overly strong. So, like, it is hard to overstate how good Celestial Bombardment is. So, overall, really, really good. I had an amazing time with Sun Domain Cleric, and I think that the new Epic Destinies, especially new Exalted Angel, is doing a lot of the legwork here to helping out with the damage. Yeah, just wait for the new Alchemist Destiny to be released. The Serpent, I think it's called, or going to be called. Okay, there we go. I have spells. Actually, I can just put this guy to rest. Oh, go to your rest bed now. It lasts for 20 seconds? No, it does not. Okay. Sun Pillar, very good. Wrong button. Shit. Good thing they dodged it. Okay, I'm gonna move this so I don't accidentally press it. Legitimately thought I was pressing it a different key on the keyboard. Whew. Be fine with Sharati until then. Sharati. Yep. Yeah, they gave out copies of the expansions for a whole bunch of people. As far as I can tell, pretty much everybody that live streamed or posts DDO content, like you post YouTube videos, that sort of thing, got like a free copy. Like even my good buddy Tom, who doesn't live stream that often, I'm pretty sure he got a copy too of Saltmarsh. I do critically hit a lot. What's my light crit? 43? It's not bad at this level. Like, pretty good. I actually don't need to go in this way. I'm not going to lie, I do continually try to cast Celestial Bombardment, but to no success. So, it has broken me. So it's not like the character didn't work with the way that I'm running it. But, like, also Celestial Bombardment is Celestial Bombardment, and it's Celestial Bombardment. Also, I like that the Sorceress is just sprinting at me because she can't cast spells. Yeah, that sounds about right. That was their last Lamania, too. I think their feet's still broken. Why do people go up this way instead of the other way? I've always seen people go up this way, and I don't know why. Why is that? Why do people go up this way? Would be a good cooldown. Yeah, I would expect 20 seconds. That's about right. Either a 20-second cooldown, or raise the cost to 30 and make it 12. But it only costs 20 spell points, so I think it's pretty balanced at 20-second cooldown. It's like a big spell that has a pretty much guaranteed knockdown. So I feel like having, because it also has a crowd control effect. So I would say probably 20 seconds, which is basically every single fight you always have it once and has a big knockdown. Which is, like, to me, as I said, a fairly balanced thing. I think that's like a good place to look at for balance. Dude, where's the next one? You die, please? I'm busy. You can have Dragon Breath. You can have Dragon Breath essentially going. Dragon Breath is on 20-second cooldown. No, Vortex has 100% uptime. It's a 15-second cooldown on the Vortex. Yeah, I was playing around with Eldritch Knight, and it was really fun. I used the Eldritch Knight. So I went Legendary Dreadnought. I went tier 5 Dreadnought with the aura and stuff out of there, and it was very, very strong. So I grabbed the Vortex plus the extra Spell Sword damage, and then I went to tier 5 Dreadnought. I really would love to have... Oh, I have this. Duh. Right. I forgot I can just do that, because I'm an evocation user. So I have Implosion. Duh. Okay, see ya. Have fun at the park. I have no idea why those guys ignored me, but that's fine. Can I get this, please? If I heighten this, how much does that cost? 50. That's probably fine. I mostly just want to make stuff helpless with the extra damage. I actually don't care that it costs 50. It's not a big deal. I keep forgetting that the pillar is my best spell, and I should be using the pillar as often as I can. So it takes a little bit longer, but my character is very, very strong. So, like, I'm not worried about the effectiveness of this. Like, I'm soloing Epic Elite. I'm not blasting through Epic Elite. But these monsters also have too many hit points. So it's playable. It just takes friggin' forever. Also, this character has really well-tailored gear to what I'm trying to do. Where it's going to get slow is the final boss coming up here. There's an embarrassment of riches. There's literally too many things. I agree. I have no idea what kind of characters I want to play. That's why I'm probably going to, later on, get you guys to help me out with, you know, coming up with character ideas for what to build next. Because, like, you know, not to say I'm kind of dumb and I can't think of it, which is probably accurate, but mostly, it's like, dude, there's too many things to try out. Oh. But, sweet. Oh, and I'm healing Magdalena. Nice. This is very fun. I'm enjoying this. This is good. This is good. This is good. Good video game.
Small, distant voices spring from nowhere.
We're so hungry.
We're so hungry. Please. Spare some food.
Behind the step.
No, I cannot spare no food. I am a shifter. Time to shift into high gear. Where's the flaming sphere SLA? I left it in the shop. I actually could have taken it. It's probably more interesting than the Sunbolt SLA. The problem with Sunbolt is just the damage is not epic. It's a level 3 spell. Be like getting a Fireball spell like ability. Like it is better than Fireball because it has a maximum cast level of 15 and it's a D8 instead of a D6. But it's not like they would need to make it modern numbers, so make it like a D8 plus 3 because it's a 3rd level spell, and then maybe it'll be okay. Anyway, hey spiders, come get me. Step into the fiery nightmare land. Balance. As all things should be. Perfectly balanced. I'm gonna cast real spells, don't worry. I mean, 80 DCs is not bad. That's good enough. And I should be able to Burst of Glacial Wrath all the undead. Like all the zombies and what have you. Oh right, I forgot I can dash around. Well, this also doesn't give you feather falling, which is kind of neat. You have the dash, but there's no... Oh no, it does give you feather falling. I just don't jump very high. I'm an idiot. I was like, I fall so quickly. It's because my character just like literally stays on the ground. Okay, so now I should be able to go Burst of Glacial Wrath and freeze everybody. And then do this. Arms, I forgot about the arms. Hold on. Perfect. This happy during a stream? Dude, I get happy all the time. Especially when I'm having fun. It's great. But I will say that there is nothing like Celestial Bombardment is right now. Like, nothing even comes close. It's like, oh, I know there's going to be monsters coming through that door. Don't worry, I got it. I'll just set up a trap. What is the trap? Infinite death. Come to me, bad guys. Come to me. No, she made it through infinite death. That's okay, she died. Very satisfying. A lot of damage. I'm not even casting Holy Fireball, which is like the big spell that I was supposed to get. See ya. Like, it's still very good, obviously. Holy Fireball is very powerful. It definitely makes you say, Holy Fireball! Just, you know, you could say that if you wanted to. Because it just works. It just does a good job. Yeah, exactly. This definitely shouldn't make it to live, and it should get a 20-second cooldown, at which point it's perfectly fine. But until it has a 20-second cooldown, ha 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 ha. Until it has a 20-second cooldown, it has no balance, and it feels very good. I took the turning stuff. Did I take the turning stuff? No, I avoided all of it. It's even better. What does this do? When you turn undead, you apply restoration? Yeah, it's not good. Oh, whoops. I love that you can freeze undead now. It's very satisfying. I can't even cast Holy Fireball. This character is just kind of too good. So, in terms of relative balance, I think pretty much everybody's character is going to get a lot stronger. Depending on how you feel about that, this may either be a good thing or a bad thing. The reason why I say it like that is because, you know, everyone's character is getting stronger is going to mean that in general the game is also going to become like kind of slightly easier. And that maybe, you might be chill with that. That might be like, oh yeah, what, the game's getting kind of easier? Cool. Sounds good. But like, Epic Elite is going to be way easier after these changes come through. I still think that hit points and saves need to be rebalanced in early Epics, because not everybody is going to be me. Maybe we'll just kind of run. Moving on, we have Heart of Oak, who is a Druid, another shifter, a Druid spellcaster focusing on cold damage. And I wanted to use cold damage because of the Magus of the Eclipse. Now, you know, the stubs obviously make it a little bit difficult to see what is happening here, but I'll do my best to kind of explain it. The general idea is that Cold Druid does a lot of damage, and, you know, it's a lot of area of effect damage. They have this awesome spell, Ice Flowers. You throw it down, and you just go cha, and then all of a sudden these spikes come out of the ground and do a bunch of damage. The real question is how much? How much damage can you get out of a spellcaster druid? The answer is a lot, actually. Thousands and thousands of damage. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg, as it were, because druids have access to some brand new spells. Here on the server, in Update 51, druids are now going to get Tsunami, Storm Rage, and Insidious Spores. Now, Insidious Spores is terrible, and I would never, ever cast the spell. It also costs 50 spell points. Just, I'm sure this is going to get adjusted, but for now, very terrible. But you have Storm Rage as well as Tsunami. Storm Rage is now a spell. It used to be part of Primal Avatar, and now it works so on every time you attack or cast a spell, it adds lightning damage that appears to scale off of your spell power as well as your level somehow. I'm not exactly sure how it works. On melees, it's a surprisingly high amount of damage. It doesn't last very long, so it's like kind of the thing where you cast it before you get into combat, but my god, it adds a lot of damage on a melee. On a spellcaster, it's like, for me, I think it was like 400-ish each. I might as well just cast it and show you. So how much is this? So I'm just going to Moonlance this guy. That didn't work because it didn't have enough health. Can I get this one without killing it in one hit, please? So like an extra 600 on a crit. Yeah, so that's about right. So yeah, so it's just it's okay on spellcasters. You don't necessarily need to use it since it costs 50. The big thing is Tsunami. Now, Tsunami is a knockdown, but it also deals cold and bludgeoning damage per caster level. So to put it in perspective as to how much damage this is, which is a lot, I press this button and then all of a sudden, boom! I'm hitting guys for about 4,000 base damage each, 4,000, 4,500, which then crits up to 9,000. It's really good. So Cold Druid got a massive buff. Tsunami plus Ice Flowers, and then you Freezing Spray somebody, and then you don't really need anything else. It's very, 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 very good for the general leveling process and also through epics. Now, what do you get out of Magus of the Eclipse? Well, a lot, actually. Not me, because most of these abilities don't work, but conceptually they would. First, Deepening Arcana for 10% extra spell points. I have 3,800. This would bring me up to 4,200-ish if this actually worked, which it does not. Null Magic Aura gives you a button you can press that makes you immune to enemy spells for 20 seconds. This is so strong, I can't even believe it's in the spot. It just currently isn't working, but insane. You also get this ability called Moonlance. There's a negative version of this spell as well, but then I took the ice version, which does a bunch of single target damage. It's a spell-like ability, so you can apply all your meta magic feats to it. You just whip out a spell, it deals some damage, and it's a surprisingly high amount. It feels very, very good when you get your damage to land. You can just whip this constantly, so you're always having something to be able to press for dealing damage. Then you have Frostlight, which is the mantle that you get out of this tree, and the Frostlight makes it so that you take less damage from cold and negative, and as you move up, monsters nearby you actually take additional damage. Now, it's not the biggest amount, but it's pretty great. I can just passively stand here, and then all these kobolds are going to die. It's every 6 seconds. Like, that's pretty substantial. It has some weird wonky targeting, where sometimes the monsters won't get hit by both the cold and the negative. Sometimes they only get hit by the negative, sometimes they only get hit by the cold, so it's kind of weird. But it's a lot of damage, just passively, since you can just stand there and it's doing damage every few seconds. You also get Cold Light of the Moon, which is like an AoE damage over time effect. So it drops this like puddle on the ground, just to make sure which one is which. So you can see it here, and it's doing damage to these things every 2 seconds while they stand in it. Additionally, you also get buffs while you're in it, and it debuffs the monsters. It slows them down, keeping them stuck inside of it. And then once it's done, it explodes, dealing a lot of damage. So the cool thing about it is that you can just drop this under bosses for some free damage. It also costs no spell points, so it's very, very easy to use. But also, you can it's an upgrade you put on here. It's great because it slows monsters, and the reason why the slow is important is Druid spells have delays. Ice Flowers cast wait damage. So having them slowed inside of it means you can actually hit them with your spells more often. As you move up, you then get greater beams. It makes it so Moonlance, this spell that I'm casting that does a bunch of damage and is almost 0 mana, also freezes targets for 12 seconds, which is hilarious. Because it means that this thing, I just cast it, and then if it didn't die, which it did, it would be frozen. Great crowd control and high damage is pretty much all you can ask for. And then finally, you get reduced cost of your meta magic abilities, which I'm using a lot. So I have less maximize here, and less spell cost here. You're going to notice that as a trend. Getting free maximize is pretty good. And then, on top of that, you've also got Time Stop and 0 Degree Comet. So 0 Degree Comet doesn't have any animations as of right now, but I can hit a monster with 0 Degree Comet. So I can just go ahead and freeze this guy if I want, and then go and hit him for 22k. It's pretty sweet. It's a big hit, and you can get it even higher. If I crit, it would have been even nicer. I kind of want to show that off in the video. But big spell is a negative equivalent on here, which is super strong. And then also Time Stop. So Time Stop is the big ability. Every 5 minutes, I can just press this button, and then every single thing in the area just absolutely just stops moving. And they can't die. They're at 0, but once Time Stop wears off, then they all suddenly die, because they kind of like restart in time. It's cool, it's thematic, it helps you do damage to raid bosses. It's pretty sweet. Overall, this character performed very well at the level cap, so level 30, as well as even at level 20, running through a whole bunch of quests. I think I did some 20s and some 24s, and it performed really well. In fact, I smashed pretty much everything. So, highly recommend. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's fun. I'm actually enjoying playing Spellcaster Druid, so you might too. So, check out the videos if you want to see how this character actually compares in quests, because it was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know how it works, the pulsing. We're going to find out. Oh, I didn't even rage for the plus to DCs. That's funny. I just forgot to do that. Because I can rage as well. Because I'm a shifter, and shifters gain bonus wisdom when they rage. Or at least I do, so my wisdom is now 58. First life druid. I should probably debuff this guy if I'm going to be hitting him. Is he supposed to go? I was gonna say, I thought he was supposed to go. How dare you?
The drow have ravaged the village cemetery.
Here we go. Now I can just throw this dangerous spell effect on him. I don't know why this guy's like just sprinting around. He should be standing in one place, but he's just not, which is very weird. And now I can use Tsunami to kill everything in front of me, which is really nice. And this guy's dead. Let's keep going. Have you ever played Neverwinter Nights? Yes, I have played Neverwinter Nights. There we go. Now I'm just going to focus on this guy. If you kill the bad, like the other drow, they resurrect themselves as undead, which can be kind of irritating. Or at least he resurrects them as undead, and he also gets bonus defense if you do that. Okay, he's dead. Cool. God, druids are so tanky. Kind of sick. Ah. Ow, shit. Oh, the Dark Incanter's alive? I thought he was dead. I thought I killed him. I genuinely thought I killed him. Whoops. Okay. I forgot, I can also protect myself by using Winter's Heart. So I have all these temp HPs. And I was going to find the next Dark Incanter. So this isn't, like, the best, but it's working. My worry right now is just my spell point consumption. So that's my big worry right now. It's just that, like, you know, shit costs a lot of mana. And so... kind of sucks that this guy is, you know, fairly tanky. He takes half damage from stuff because he's got his stupid undead that I don't like. There we go, and he's dead. Can you explain heightened magic really quick? Yes. So, your spells have levels, right? So you see how I have these levels of spells? They go from level 1 to 9. So, the way that your difficulty check is calculated, or like how hard it is to resist a spell, the formula for that, okay, is 10 plus the level of the spell. All right? So the level of the spell directly calculates into how difficult it is for a monster to resist. This is one of the reasons why higher level spells are oftentimes better. They do more damage usually, but also they're harder to resist, which just makes sense conceptually. Like, you know, if you have a higher level spell, you would hope that the higher level spell would be a better thing to cast, which makes sense. So when you cast Heighten, right, if it's a...
is the plane of churning chaos. So who knows what you will find within.
Okay, so I can't hit any of these, which is awesome. But this guy takes passive damage just being near me. So he dies, which is very satisfying. Important note, I have all the metamagics turned on pretty much all the time. You just woke up? You just woke up? How did you just wake up? It's 5 p.m. I mean, hey man, I don't want to knock your sleep schedule, but like 5 p.m. I mean, my sleep schedule is not perfect either, so I'm not a winner here.
The ground shakes, and the cavern shrine door rolls open.
So we are good. Ah! The best part about this is this character actually does hella damage, so I can just tsunami stuff. And be like, oh no, bad guys, tsunami.
A resonant hum fills the ruins as the first rune activates.
Ah, bad guys, oh no! Oh, I almost killed all of them with one ice flowers. Yeah, the damage over time portion of this is not that great, but it also has no mana cost. So I can't complain too much about Cold Light of the Moon. Ah, tsunami! It's so dumb! I do so much damage! Oh my gosh. Oh, this guy's literally made of cold? Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. See ya. Oh, he cast Fire Shield on himself now. It took him a little while to cast Fire Shield. He should have cast that sooner. That would have been a good idea.
The second rune activates. There's a massive rush of air through the shrine.
Yeah, these guys have crazy fortitude saves that I cannot hit at all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. I mean, it seems good. You know, seems alright.
Waves of intense heat billow
Okay.
out from the chamber.
I do some damage, it's
A
fine.
group of cultists blocks the passage into the deeper caverns.
Oh no, bad guys. Uh-oh.
Suddenly shifts,
So,
and the ice
yeah.
that makes up the floor collapses.
Important note, I'm not even using like the Magus spells. I'm mostly just casting Druid spells. Being powered up by Magus because of how many spell point or like all the extra stats that I get. The main problem with the Magus abilities is, like I said, I don't have the stun and I don't actually need to use them. So if I needed to use them, that would be different. Although I do like the fact that I can make it so monsters can't cast spells. That's very, very nice. Also, my regenerate only costs 39, which is sick. There we go. I also really like being able to instantly kill stuff with 0-degree comment, and Moonlance is very nice. It looks like I'll have to try some Reaper quests, because this does not seem too bad. For Slave Druid. What's crazy on here? I have an artifact, 2 pieces of raid gear, this. Technically I have a little bit more defense than I probably should have. Just a little bit. Hey, what's up? I do so much damage. I forgot to turn this on. Whoops. Hey, sorry, buddy. Very cool. Very, very cool. And last on the list here is Spellcaster Artificer. Now, Spellcaster Artificer is something that is not the greatest, but it's very fun to play. It has a whole bunch of crowd control kind of built into it, being able to just whip tactical detonations at people, making big explosions and knocking everything down, being able to support, tons of healing. It's pretty cool. So does it get better with these changes? And the answer is yes. So this Spellcaster Artificer, maxing out intelligence, I got all of the, meta magic feats, because of course they just bump up your damage. Spell-wise, I ignore most of them, and I'm really only casting the endgame spells. So Chain Lightning, Arcane Tempest, and Tactical Detonation. And then Enhancement Tree, everything goes into Arcanotechnician, and I'm grabbing as much damage as I can, and then all the defense out of Renegade Mastermaker, so I don't die. Now, what do you get out of the Epic Destinies? Well, I went with Draconic Incarnation for a couple reasons. The first is that getting extra damage per hit is really nice, and it turns into an actual damage over time, so it's really good for boss DPS. Second, Dragon Breath is amazing, and it fits with my Lightning. I can bypass Lightning immunity as an Artificer, so Lightning is really, really nice. Later on, you even get to double the damage, and I turned mine into Energy Burst, so I can then press my Dragon Breath, and it's just the Energy Burst standard mechanic. And on top of that, I've also got Pull from the Wellspring, so my Wellspring of Power, which usually lasts for 30 seconds, give me a ton of damage, lasts for now an entire minute, which is very, very nice. However, the big deal is the top ones up here. Ruin Intensified. Your Ruin and Greater Ruin now apply a secondary burst of damage based on your Draconic bloodline, which means I deal equal parts force and lightning damage. So this character, being an Artificer, can focus on both. So I have 674 spell power and 849 lightning. You get a lot of extra lightning with 68% lightning crit chance and 54 force. This means that if I actually walk out here and I try to ruin somebody, I can ruin this kobold for 11,000 damage, no crit, and Greater Ruin him for 21,000 damage, no crit. Picking up some crit multi. That's actually very unlikely that I didn't critically strike there. Damn. Like 1 in 20 something. Anyway. So yeah. So that's the idea. Then I go into Fatesinger to get reduced cost of all meta magics. I have a lot of different meta magics. So getting reduced cost of Empower, as well as Maximize and Quicken, and the extra 10% spell cost reduction here from the Fatesinger is pretty nice. And then I didn't know where to put the rest of my points. This is probably my least refined build. It did not work really well at 20, and the only reason it didn't work well at 20 is because there's currently a bug with Blue Dragon Breath on the test server where if you upgrade it, it's fine, but the non-upgraded versions don't work. And that bug has been fixed, so it's already been addressed, and it's being fixed before it hits the whatever the next Lomania or live server or whatever is coming next. But yeah, that made it difficult to go at 20 when I was trying to do quests. I could have just swapped into Primal Avatar and used that and had no problem at 20 when I was doing some Epic Elites, but it made it a little bit difficult to do that. So I was getting quests done, but they were fairly slow. However, then I went to level 30, and level 30 is a joke because I have actually working Dragon Breath for a whole bunch of additional damage. You have the new Arcane Tempest spell, which is not a new spell. It's an existing spell. It's already been put on, or it used to be in Magister, which is no longer gone. It's Magus of the Eclipse now. So now it's just an Artificer and Sorcerer and Wizard spell. And with Arcane Tempest, I can just drop this down and do a ton of damage in force over time. Combining that with Tactical Detonation to knock everything down in the circle. You knock them down with Tactical Detonation, then you drop the Arcane Tempest on them, and you can just straight up walk away and ignore them. It's kind of great. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like. I see these kobolds over here. They're just kind of chilling. So I can go ahead, drop the Tactical Detonation, which does already in itself a lot of damage. And then I throw down this force damage, and all of a sudden the Purple Rain is kind of tearing all of them apart. So it's pretty strong. A lot of good single target damage with this character, especially considering that I can just ruin somebody and literally just ruin them. Just boom, you're gone. So it makes it a exciting, very, very bursty character with a good amount of crowd control. The only helplessness that I do have could come from Burst of Glacial Wrath, but I forgot to take it while leveling because I'm an idiot. Anyways, that is all I have for this character. And also, this is going to be the actual last build I'm showcasing. So if you like what you see, make sure you like the channel. Consider subscribing. Please subscribe because I'm going to be posting more content, so please do that. Thank you all for watching and enjoy more clips. And I find it so funny.
Who knows what's good for them will stay indoors tonight.
Like the early epics are more, like tougher than the end epics bosses.
To mop up the mess.
I don't know why I didn't use Energy Burst there. POB the real endgame? Yeah, it's crazy.
push open the door to the apartment.
Why is that like that? I don't know.
Surprisingly well-decorated rooms.
Be fixed,
show
hopefully.
signs of a struggle.
I'm hoping. I'm very hoping. The problem is there, as far as I've been looking around, there's been no communication about it. So part of my brain is like, maybe they're not going to fix it, and maybe it's going to stay like that, which I don't want.
His last gambling ticket lies just
But,
out of reach.
you know.
One in just one big, cleaning up on a match in an underground fighting ring down in the cogs.
Is this the part where we fight?
His recent
Hey, what's up,
winnings
everybody?
gave himself
Whoop!
Imagine meeting your end right after
God,
Gary's
that's so satisfying.
At least he died in the black. Despite clear attempts to make this look like
Okay, yeah, I can't hit these guys. So
all
I'm just going to do
the
this
valuables
and
were
this.
still in their proper places.
Perfect. That's how you win.
As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door.
If only you could, if you could quicken palliative mixture, that'd be great. Yeah, having energy burst on a 15-second cooldown is pretty sweet. Oh, energy burst also has no save. I forgot. So if you're like, oh man, but I don't have the DCs for it, don't worry. Energy burst has no save now. See ya. You can't accelerate it, can't you? You can accelerate it, can't you? Yeah, but accelerate only moves the potion travel time, which doesn't increase the speed at which you like whip your arm around.
The doors to the gambling hall are wide open and its chairs are empty. Though the nearby tables are still covered with food and drink. Looks like the customers left in a hurry. A chest full of coins was left locked and untouched. This was no robbery. You can tell that there's more to this than meets the eye.
Although I will say, having a ton of free temporary spell points is pretty rad. What does this do? Efficacy? Oh, I get alchemical efficacy? Let's go! Oh, that's fast too, that application. Greater efficacy for 3 minutes! Damn, I thought it was going to be way shorter. What's up, Wolf Alzheimer's? How are you doing? How are you feeling today? Hopefully you're feeling good. Alright.
Check to make sure there are no more nearby.
Yeah, so overall, this is pretty good. I'm digging it. The Artificer is kind of like wrecking shit. So, it's just the early epics where monsters have too many hit points. Like, I'm having no issues whatsoever. This is very easy. New Quicken? What's New Quicken? Do you mean Accelerate? Accelerate is meant to make the potions travel faster, basically so it gets rid of the arc when you're casting potions, and it basically makes the potions move to the people instantaneously. I don't understand why you can't quicken admixtures. You should be able to quicken admixtures. I don't, it's like, it's probably like a balance issue, but I don't see the issue, so. Yeah, no save on Energy Burst is a godsend for players who don't have the gear to be able to do quests. As long as you kind of wait around on your Blue Dragon Breath, you're still able to complete stuff, which is nice. I hope this stays like this. Because the other abilities don't have saves either. Like the other Epic Strikes, none of the Epic Strikes have saves. They just land, which is great.
Closer look at the keg reveals a hidden compartment filled with smuggled goods.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted.
The alley stretches before you. The more you learn about the victims, the more questions you have.
Oh my god. Just bobbing and weaving. Die! I love how I can throw a detonation at a detonation. We can add mixture adds. True. So Fire Energy Burst on Steepling Scoundrel Bard seems delicious. Oh yeah. Well, the problem is, if you use that though, then you can't use... It depends on what you're doing, because there's also the Fatesinger attacks, right? Let's see. Can I just kill this guy? Almost. I could almost one-shot him. If I'd crit him with anything, he would have died in one hit. Damn.
Steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with a smug.
There is something cool about doing 20k damage in one hit.
You're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to notice. The troll
Things still have too much health.
Yet another casualty of this bloody night.
I mean, I dealt with it no problem. I just had to back up a little bit.
Zelith shakes her head.
I'm playing Spellcaster already like I would be playing a Sorcerer. Like, I'm feeling it's not too bad here. The hardest part about this play is that I'm playing on a server that is lagging like crazy. Like where the whole thing just freezes up constantly. If that wasn't happening, this would be very easy. Is that? Thank you. I think it's pretty good. Fits with the outfit. I love the glowy armor in Sharn. They did a really good job with it.
You stoop down to search the contents of Naram's pack.
This outfit's like one of my favorite
It's like he
outfits
was
that they
fleeing for
released
his
with
life
Sharn.
when the murderer got to him. More slashes on the palm. And this time, you see the pattern. You wonder
Gotcha.
how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes were literally the killer's signature.
What I need is to actually
Whoever
max
did
out the
this
gear on this
wasn't shy
character.
about letting people know.
Needs a
You
tough
find
word.
security ledger embossed with Vaunt
But it's an
Arcanotechnician
appropriate word.
symbol. A quick glance reveals that every victim had worked for Vaunt.
'Cause I don't have any DCs, so I can actually hit this stuff.
To overlook,
I mean, I can
especially
sort of hit
since
this stuff,
Arcanotechnician
but not really.
talked about cleaning up loose ends. That ledger told you what you needed to know.
I wonder how fast I can kill
These
Arc.
all worked for Vaunt and were killed because they knew too much about his operations down in the cogs. You strike down the last of the attackers. You can't let these petty thugs hold you back. Not when you're so close to
I love that the lady's just skipping.
You catch up with Zealot, fill her in on the clues you found so far. She points you towards an alleyway northwest of where the goblin was last seen.
Okay,
Familiar
so there's Urk,
echoes
right?
behind this
Gonna wait on energy burst, and then I'm gonna get him.
Make it look like an accident.
Oh, and I keep forgetting I have a double duration on this feat.
Was beyond stupid.
Wellspring of Power.
Now Zealot is onto us.
Here we go. So, 1, 2, 3. Oh, he lives. Damn. He's dead.
You've sent the murderer to his just reward. It'll be trying to confront soldiers. The
You're
goblin
dead.
suddenly rises,
And everybody's dead.
shrouded
Cool.
in necroplasm,
I almost could one-shot him.
quickly cast
I was
an
just
antidote.
behind on one-shotting
Tiefling
him.
and the goblin
Well, not one-shotting him, but like one burst. So Dragon Breath plus Ruin plus Greater Ruin. If I had slightly better equipment, so like a little bit better spell power, I've been able to knock him down in one hit.